soon.
Okay, welcome everybody to Tuesday, May 26th, Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. We're getting started a little later because our work session ran over a little bit. This meeting is being held with limited physical access in the meeting room due to current limitations on public gatherings. Accommodations have been made to ensure that the public is able to participate in the meeting. The public may participate in the following ways. Watch the meeting on Franklin TV or the City of Franklin website. Watch the live stream through the City of Franklin Facebook and YouTube accounts. Or call into the conference meeting at 615-550-8420. Callers will be unmuted and given an opportunity to ask questions and make comments during the meeting at specific times. Limited viewing will be available in the lobby of City Hall to watch the live video. The public may email questions or comments prior to the start of the meeting to recorder at franklintn.gov to be read aloud. City YouTube is www.youtube.com/user/City of Franklin. City of Franklin Facebook Live is www.facebook.com/City of Franklin. And the city website is www.franklintn.gov/Franklin TV. So I'll now call the meeting to order and we'll have a roll call vote or roll call. And we'll start out with Alderman Barnhill. Present. Alderman Martin.
Present.
Alderman Bransford.
Present.
Alderman Speedy.
Present.
Alderman Berger.
Present.
Alderman Blanton. Alderman Blanton.
Here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Alderman Peterson.
Present.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Present.
Very good. We'll have full attendance. We'll now move on to an invocation. I will ask that Alderman Barnhill offer the invocation, and then I will lead the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Alderman Barnhill.
Would everyone bow, please? Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight in prayer, thanking you for this day and for this great nation that we live in. We know that many of us are going through extremely difficult times and that we have to look towards you to get us through these difficult issues and difficult times. We ask that you be with each of us as aldermen. We're the decisions that we make with your blessings and your knowledge. We ask that these decisions be Christ-like, and this prayer we offer in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
which stands one nation
under
God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now go through a resolution 2020-72, a resolution declaring that the Board of Mayor and Aldermen shall meet on May the 26th, 2020, and conduct its essential business by electronic means rather than being required to gather a quorum of the members physically present in the same location, because it's necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. I'd entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Seconded by motion by Alderman Berger, seconded by Alderman Martin. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's have a roll call vote. Alderman Barnhill, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is an opportunity for citizens to make comments on items that are not on the agenda. Does anyone want to speak to this body on items that are not on the agenda?
I'm going to the phone line now. This is for any
Citizens
citizens who have comments
for
for items that are not on the agenda. So non-agenda item comments.
We
We have a
public
public hearing scheduled for later in the meeting, but anyone have
non-agenda
non-agenda
item
item
comments?
comments? Nothing, Mr. Mayor?
Okay, we'll now go on to miscellaneous reports and communications. I think Mr. Stuckey had a comment.
I have two things I want to touch on. One is a week from tomorrow on June 3rd, we will be taking our next step in reopening. Our city offices will be completely reopened from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Any public access that you normally expect in terms of our offices will be available to you. We're taking a number of safeguards regarding hand sanitizing and providing, making available masks for people visiting us. We're also put up some physical barriers to help keep the citizens and our team members safe and protected. But we will be opening all of our city offices from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. That does give us some additional time for cleaning. We have been maintaining the city hall payment window and that access, and that will continue, but we'll have additional offices and public access available starting June 3rd. So that's one announcement, important announcement. The next one, I want to do a very important recognition. Holland Shellhouse, our management fellow, this is likely Holland's last meeting with us. She has done a great job. She is our first ever management fellow, and she had a momentous achievement since we last met. I want her to talk a little bit about that, but she's also completed her 12 months with us as a management fellow and is now excitedly taking the next step. We're proud of the work she's done and been a part of it. It's unfortunate we're going to have to at least have a year delay till we have our next management fellow because of the budget situation we're in, but Holland's done a great job of setting the tone and starting what we think will be an important contribution to our organization as we move forward down the line. But I want to give Holland a quick chance and recognize the great work she's done for us.
Cool. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I have accepted a position with the town of Smyrna as an executive assistant to the town manager. So I'm really excited to learn more about local government, especially in Middle Tennessee, as we see these changes in our economy. And oh, y'all are going to make me cry, but seriously, it's been the best experience ever. I even told my mentor in my graduate program, I'm like, I didn't believe that I could love a city so much like Franklin. Y'all are special. You have a great staff. I see Alyssa smiling. I've been talking about this with her a lot too, but yeah, you all do great work and you're really fun to hang out with. Even in and outside of meetings, you really have a special organization and a special staff that serves the community every day and gives you the best opportunities for your community. And I'm so thankful for that opportunity to be really innovative, even if we got a lot of pushback on some innovations, but all the experiences I will take to heart. And, you know, if you ever want to find me somewhere in Middle Tennessee, like I'm down. So thank you so much. And I hope I'll talk to y'all in the near future.
Thank you, Holland. And we also want to congratulate Holland. She is a recent graduate with her master's in public administration from the University of Kansas. So great job, Holland.
And we're also proud of Holland, and we look forward to her coming back as she learns the guitar and play the national anthem, maybe one of our future meetings. So we'll now move on to approval of the minutes. And tonight we're looking to approve the minutes from the work session and the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting of May the 12th, 2020. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Good motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bransford. The motion was by Alderman Peterson. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll now take a roll call vote. Alderman Barnhill, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Are there any other additional recognitions or miscellaneous reports? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. And all items under the consent agenda are deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing body. They will be approved as recommended by committee or staff by one motion of the governing body. Tonight, we're considering items number 12 through 24 for the consent agenda. I asked for a motion. I recognize Alderman Barnhill.
Motion to approve with item 16 being removed.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Peterson. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill,
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Next item is item 4. This is a public hearing. Consideration of resolution 2024, resolution initiating the annexation process and draft plan of services for the annexation of 2208 Crossway Drive and 1190 Lewisburg Pike. I know we have a number of different communications that have come in by email, and also we have some folks on the phone. The plan is to allow 2 minutes for people that are going to speak on the phone. We will alternate between the phone and emails that have been submitted. We have one emailer that submitted multiple questions on multiple emails, and we'll consider those as one public comment. So whenever you, if you're on the phone, please identify yourself whenever it's your turn and you've been recognized. The purpose is for public comment. It's not a time to debate or discuss this particular issue. This is a time for you to give staff and the Board of Mayor and Alderman your comments so that they can consider those and work on those. So we have a staff person that's going to make a comment beforehand.
That would be me, Mayor. Thank you. Good evening. The property being considered is between Bowman Road and Henpeck Lane. It is not contiguous to the city limits and is within the city's urban growth boundary. The property helps fill an existing hole in the city limit locations to the north and south. There is an attached memo that addresses criteria that staff considers for non-contiguous annexation requests. The subject properties are within the large lot residential design concept as defined by the Envision Franklin Land Use Plan. It is the intention of the applicant to develop the property into single-family residential lots. Envision Franklin states that the large lot residential design concept should reflect the established character of existing neighborhoods and provide a transition between city and county subdivisions. It further states that new development should fit contextually with surrounding neighborhoods and designed around natural features. Just to let everyone know, there is a land use plan amendment going to Planning Commission next month. This is only for tonight, only the initiation for annexation of these 2 parcels. Staff recommends approval.
We'll start with public comment now. Start with the phone line.
Yes, we're going to the phone line. This is on item number 4, which is consideration of initiating the annexation for the property on Crossway and Lewisburg. I know we have multiple folks on the line. I believe a number of you want to speak. We'll take turns. Whoever wants to go first, just give us your name, address, and we'll give you 2 minutes for comment.
I'll go first.
Okay.
This is Hillary Hatcher. I live at 2215 Taylor Drive. I'm also the HOA Vice President of Oakwood Estates. I appreciate the staff and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen accepting comments tonight. We strongly request that the resolution to initiate annexation of the 1190 Lewisburg Pike and 2208 Crossway Drive proposed development be denied. This annexation does not promote contiguity and orderly growth and does not meet the intent of Envision Franklin. Annexation of this property should not be considered when no current projects of road widening and sidewalks planned for Lewisburg Pike between Berry Farms and Sullivan Farms are to be completed in a timeline with the timeline of the development. This annexation does not benefit the health, safety, and welfare of the public when it currently serves to increase the vehicular traffic, provide no means for pedestrian or bicycle traffic on Lewisburg Pike for years to come, and continue to cost the taxpayers of Franklin disproportionately more than the residents of unincorporated Williamson County. As a resident of Oakwood Estates living on Castlewood at the intersection of Crossway, this increase in vehicular traffic and safety concerns directly affects me, my young children, and my neighbors, as one of the proposed entrances of this development is Crossway. I hope I can rely on you to oppose this annexation proposal because it is discontiguous to the city of Franklin. Its primary aim appears to sidestep the use of more appropriate zoning districts for this area. It serves to meet the interests of developers and illegitimately attempts to build a higher tax base for the city. It's contrary to the intent of Envision Franklin. Infrastructure has not yet caught up to the existing development, and the annexation will cause harm to the residents of Franklin by contributing to greater vehicular traffic and higher taxes while returning no benefit. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. We'll now go to comments submitted by email.
This comment is from Shannon Norwood. Are you encouraging the development that is against the Envision Franklin plan or merely reviewing the request from the Cross family? For your information, I'm adamantly opposed to the proposed annexation of the Cross properties by the city of Franklin being discussed on tonight's agenda. I live in the Douglas Glen neighborhood that is directly adjacent to the property that is being considered. First, this goes against everything that the Envision Franklin plan proposed and outlined in the recently adopted plan. All of the homes that surround this land have the large lot designation, are located on the county, and don't have any access to City of Franklin services. Most of us moved here to enjoy larger lot sizes, the beautiful countryside of Williamson County, and to avoid the constantly rising taxes of the city. I think that the Cross family has every right to develop their land if they would like. After all, they developed my neighborhood over 25 years ago and also developed most of the other surrounding neighborhoods too. However, I feel that they should be held to the same guidelines of the Envision Franklin plan that every other person or developer that has come before your board has had to follow. I understand that the Cross family has historically done many wonderful things for the preservation and good of the city and the county, and for this I applaud them. If your board recommends and the city of Franklin allows this annexation, that will enable the Cross family to develop and build the proposed 45 homes that they have presented as their plan. It will not only go against the master plan of Envision Franklin, it will also appear that they are receiving special treatment. Sincerely.
Line.
All right, we have our next comment from the phone line. Please give us your name, address, and you have 2 minutes.
We have a caller who wants to comment.
Yes, my name is Richard Stemple. I live at 2514 St. James Drive, Franklin. I second what Hillary Hatcher, the first speaker, had to say. I mean, I couldn't say that any better. But I just want to go on record saying, that I also oppose what appears to be a pocket annexation request, and ask that the board oppose it as well because it's discontiguous with the city of Franklin. Its primary aim appears to be to sidestep the use of more appropriate zoning districts for this area. It only serves to meet the interest of the developers, and it attempts to build a higher tax base for the city that's contrary to the intent of Envision Franklin. I believe also that the annexation will cause harm to the residents of Franklin by contributing to greater vehicular traffic and higher taxes. You can compare almost any citizen or resident's taxes within Franklin to those outside of Franklin, and you'll see that their tax rates have gone up significantly faster. And I can only attribute this to those residents having to pay for this growth. I believe that the only justification the city has made thus far for annexation is that it fills the gap in the area of that's north, the Franklin proper, and then the recently annexed and new developments to the south. That's hardly within the intent and spirit of Envision Franklin. I believe it's important to consider more than just sewer lines as the main driver of development. The infrastructure along Lewisburg Pike is lagging far behind development. We can't go outside of our neighborhoods to ride a bicycle or walk. Lewisburg Pike, it just does not accommodate that. There are multiple capital improvement projects for Lewisburg Pike that are planned or will need to be planned and executed for the road to handle this traffic and to give us the sidewalks and bike paths that are needed. These projects taken separately will take years to complete, and I believe that the board should delay this annexation until such time that all of the roadway projects can be completed concurrently to include sewers and underground utilities for the proposed project.
Your time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tavel.
We'll now go to submitted email.
This item is from Betsy Hester. Please, we need help with traffic on this portion of Lewisburg Pike. A turn lane at 1190 Lewisburg Pike would help. This turn lane could be similar to lanes at Sullivan Farms and Stream Valley.
Do we have any other citizen comments on the phone line? You
Give us your name, address, and you have 2 minutes. Do you have any other comments on the phone line? No one
We'll now
responded.
go back to submitted emails.
This is from Chad Breedlove. For tonight's meeting, does this land border the city of Franklin? If no, what precedent exists to annex this land? Number 2, proposed development will add at least 100 automobiles to Lewisburg Pike each day. What is the plan to relieve the current congestion and prepare for additional congestion? Number 3, what is the impact on schools? This area's schools just saw relief from overcrowding with the addition of Creekside. This development increases the risk of overcrowding. School overcrowding is a major reason Williamson County is in such massive debt with constantly building new schools. This development could negatively impact that.
Okay, we'll go back to the phone line. You have 2 minutes.
Williamson County is in such massive debt and constantly building new schools.
Delay.
This development could
Okay.
negatively impact that.
We're going to the phone line. We're going to the phone line for additional comment. You may want to mute your television. I think there's a lag in the broadcast there, and give us your name, address, and you have 2 minutes for comment.
Thank Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Leslie Edgell, and my address is 2213 Bowman Road. I can see the back of this proposed development from my property. We have been Franklin residents for about a year now, and we were so excited to move to an area that provided a quieter place for our children to play. When I heard about this proposal for this annexation, I'm very concerned because I was under the impression that City of Franklin wants to promote contiguity, and I don't believe that this does. I also, in listening to the meeting prior to this, I understand that you all are very concerned about being conservative in spending in light of all the past few months, and I was just curious as to how this annexation would help the City of Franklin continue to be conservative in its spending and also help balance the responsibility to the citizens and the employees. If this is concerning taxpayers' dollars, do they have any kind of say in this annexation process? And thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, Ms. Edgell.
It also helps.
We'll now go back to submitted emails.
This comment is from Carol Swick. Number one, I want a traffic study done before this project is annexed. I live in Douglas Glen on Lewisburg Pike. Many times we cannot get out of our subdivision. Lewisburg Pike is used as an alternate if I-65 has ant problems. Currently, there are no plans to widen Lewisburg Pike. It is a very busy road. Our neighborhood is 30 houses, which no one wants any connection road to another development. Number three, any additional homes, it says she adhered to Franklin's own Envision Franklin plans where homes would be on at least a 1 acre lots and brick construction to be consistent, all homes south of them. Number four, since these resident children would attend Williamson County schools, there should be an impact to the county's schools and infrastructure. Franklin should not continue to annex property with no regard to effects of surrounding counties. Number five, the developer has indicated this would be developed starting on the Lewisburg Pike edge and developed over 3.5 to 5 years. That is too much disruption along Lewisburg Pike for too long. Number six, he also indicated that there will not be any uniformity to the houses since each lot purchaser can pick their own builder and style home. He is thinking some will want to put $1 million homes on 1/3 to 1/4 acre lots along Lewisburg Pike, which would obstruct the view and ruin the scenic hillside there. Number seven, since this land is on a hillside, we are also concerned there will be a blasting, which could cause damage to surrounding homes. There has not been any study by the developer on this issue either. Number eight, we want each person on the commission to consider these issues as if this was being built right next to your residence with no prior impact studies and demand they be done first.
Any other citizen comments on the phone line regarding the initiation of the annexation process for 2208 Crossway Drive and 1190 Lewisburg Pike? Any other citizen comments on the phone line? Nothing right now.
We'll go back to the email submitted comments.
This is from Butch Mays. Dear sirs and madams, if the city of Franklin approves a waiver on the zoning of this property going with the small lots, then you would be totally abandoning the Envision Franklin protocol. It would be breaking almost every point in it. Why would you go to the trouble of and expense of putting the Envision Franklin program together in the first place? This should be voted down on first reading. I'm only hoping you see this.
Please continue on the emails.
This is from Diana Crawford. I am a Franklin resident living in the Douglas Glen subdivision, which borders the proposed development at 1190 Lewisburg Pike and 2208 Crossway Drive. I have a lot of concerns about the development given the negative impact it will have on our existing neighborhood, as do many of our neighbors. I feel while the property owner has every right to do what they wish with their property, I do not feel it is fair to horribly impact the adjacent neighborhoods and also create a dangerous situation for all of us that live along Lewisburg Pike corridor. Here are my top questions. Unless a traffic light is installed at Lewisburg Pike and Henpeck Lane, we inside Douglas Glen will be trapped in our neighborhood with no way to drive out. It is already bad, dangerous, and full of blind spots. With the addition of the new middle school on Henpeck Lane and the day school on the corner, it is already extremely congested and backs up all the time. And school isn't even in session right now. There are numerous blind spots in both directions, numerous accidents, etc. Before even knowing of this new development, I was convinced a traffic signal would be needed for safety of children and residents. Number 2, need a turn lane into the new development. It is also a blind spot and traffic accidents and injuries will back up traffic big time. Number 3, the lot sizes are too small and congested. This will completely close in the whole area and doesn't follow the envisioned Franklin plan. Why make this small area of Franklin a concrete jungle? If the lot sizes were larger, a lot of the problems would go away. Number 4, having a stub street into our existing neighborhood, which has very narrow streets, no sidewalks, poor lighting, will be dangerous and an infringement on our neighborhood. It is not right nor fair. Doesn't seem right to do this to a neighborhood of 25 plus years. 2 cars are barely passable by each other. Number 5, the destruction of animal habitat and trees is not what Franklin should be about. Number 6, stormwater basins being built right next to existing homes creates dangerous mosquito ponds, smell, and unfair to those residents. Number 7, water runoff from the development above down into our neighborhood. While the developer says the water will flow in the natural direction, it is not natural to have water flowing down paved surfaces, channeled down swells versus the existing green space, which allows broad natural water flow. It would seem a civil engineering study of the water flow and what will happen when turning a grassy hillside into asphalt street should be done. We don't want to become a flood zone or like other areas in the greater Nashville area that have become flooded from adjacent development. To date, the developer advised us there has been no such. This is from Paige Vinson. This email is regarding tonight's Mayor and Alderman meeting. Item number 4. My family and I have been residents of Dallas Downs since 2005. We have witnessed heavy growth during that time. What used to be a non-stressful 7:30 departure time for work now must be pushed an hour earlier to miss the heavy Lewisburg Pike traffic. A similar story exists for the trip home. The left turn lane from Mac Hatcher to Lewisburg going south now backs up into traffic going straight, an indication of the increase in the number of residents in this corridor. I could once ride my bike from Dallas Downs north to downtown or south to Henpeck and encounter just a few vehicles. Now it isn't even safe to do so. My question is, who is benefiting from all of this development? Is it the current residents? I would say no. It is new residents who want to live in charming, beautiful Franklin. Perhaps in the short term, but without slowing the current growth, there will be no charming, beautiful Franklin. The development is destroying the reason people live here in the first place. It is keeping our residents safer? Absolutely not, just from the increase in traffic alone. Do you plan to install some traffic lights on Lewisburg to help with the flow of traffic and help residents in current neighborhoods to be able to safely exit our neighborhoods? Are you planning to install alternative transportation routes, bicycle, pedestrian paths to downtown Franklin from our growing southern area? Making Franklin the best it can be is not the same as making it as big and sprawling as is possible. Please do not vote to approve development just for the sake of growth with no true benefit besides financial for the ones doing the development.
You just continue on all the emails if you would, Angie. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mark Grillett. I live at 2518 St. James Drive in Franklin since 1995. I have lived in the Franklin community for over 33 years. I am in the Douglas Glen neighborhood and my property adjoins the Cross family property. My question is about the proposed annexation of the property at 1190 Lewisburg Pike. The drawings I have seen appear to show the property coming beyond the existing fence line by about 20 feet to recently marked survey stakes. That 20 feet times 200 feet, the approximate width of my property, is 4,000 square feet, or a little under a tenth of an acre. I'm disputing the cross ownership of that property, as I have solely maintained and invested in that piece of property for over 20 years. And let's be clear, I do not want my property annexed into the city of Franklin. So my question is, how are you planning to vote to move forward with this annexation when the property line is in dispute? This is from Mike Grillett. I have lived at 2518 St. James Drive in Franklin. Sorry about that. This is from Richard Stemple. Can I rely on you to oppose this annexation proposal because it is discontinuous to the city of Franklin? Its primary aim appears to be to sidestep the use of more appropriate zoning districts for this area. It only serves to meet the interests of the developers and illegitimately attempts to build a higher tax base for the city. It is contrary to the intent of Envision Franklin, and the annexation will cause harm to the residents of Franklin by contributing to greater vehicular traffic, higher taxes, while returning no benefit to them. Can I get a commitment from you to oppose the annexation proposal based on the failure of the development plan to adhere to the spirit and intent of Envision Franklin? Would you consider that more than just sewer lines are required to drive development? Would you consider that some people may want to purchase homes on larger lots in Franklin and that sewer systems don't render large lots unnecessary? Would you commit to opposing this annexation proposal until a development plan is presented that more closely follows the large lot residential design concept of Envision Franklin, thereby giving people who wish to purchase a new home on a large lot a choice to purchase a home in Franklin instead of just Brentwood? Can I get your commitment to oppose this annexation proposal until such time that infrastructure has been built to support the existing and future developments? Can I get your commitment to support the widening of Lewisburg Pike all the way from Berry Farms to Matt Catcher, along with sidewalks and bike paths concurrent to installation of sewer lines and other required traffic signals? Can I get your commitment to support only road widening projects that will include the necessary turn lanes and sight lines in order to make it safer for residents to leave and enter their homes and neighborhoods on Lewisburg Pike? With respect to this proposed development, what guiding principles and design concepts of Envision Franklin can be better met by the PD zone district than by other districts such as the state residential or R1, given the nature of the surrounding neighborhoods? Can I get your commitment to reject the use of the PD zoning district and/or planned unit development until such time that design requirements and usage situations are more clearly defined in the zoning ordinance and Envision Franklin, and there is more transparency made to the general public? How many signatures on the petition do we need to obtain for you to seriously reconsider the annexation and rezoning of this property? This one is from Julia Helford. As residents of Oakwood Estates, we are opposed to this property being annexed by the city of Franklin because we are concerned with the following. Number one, the safety of more congestion on Lewisburg Pike with the proposed additional 45 homes. Two, quoting from the Envision Franklin plan on page 34, lots on the property on the periphery of developments should be sized to be consistent with the existent lots of adjacent neighborhoods. Page 36, generally 70% open space should be preserved. Page 39, the land use recommendation as single-family residential on lots of 2 acres or more. Page 49, new development should have a minimum lot size of 1 acre or more to fit contextually with surrounding neighborhoods. Neighborhoods should be designed around natural features to highlight forested areas, hillsides, and hilltop streams and tree, it's cut off a little bit, tree rows.
On the phone. I declare the public hearing closed, and we'll now entertain a motion from the board.
Gamble, I'm here on the meeting, and I was wondering if I might be able to speak for just a minute.
Go ahead, Mr. Gamble. I'll reopen the public hearing. I didn't realize you were on the line. Now you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be very, very brief. Thank you for considering this request to initiate the annexation process for the Cross family. They have 3 homes that exist on the properties today. They are very interested in extending the sewer line that the city and the county are currently installing at the intersection of Henpeck and Lewisburg to their property, not only for their existing homes, but for a future neighborhood. The property is currently zoned MGA 1, which is Municipal Growth Area District 1 in the county. The county's ordinance states the purpose and intent of the Municipal Growth Area District is for this area to remain largely undeveloped until such time as the land may be annexed into a municipality. The property could be subdivided today into 1 acre septic tank lots. However, the Cross family's preference would be that the property be developed under the regulations of the City of Franklin zoning ordinance. We have submitted a conceptual master plan of the property with the initiation of this request. However, we are continuing to receive input from city staff, planning commission, and the surrounding neighbors. We have filed for an Envision Franklin land use plan amendment, requesting a change in policy to the single family subdivision policy. We believe this would give us greater flexibility in lot sizes for a future neighborhood. This would allow us to better align with the guiding principles of Envision Franklin to provide a vibrant neighborhood, protect the natural beauty of the property, and achieve exceptional design. We believe that the infrastructure is either in place for an additional 45 homes or will be in place for an additional 45 homes. Currently, when Legacy Middle School opens up this fall, it will have a capacity of 44%. Creekside Elementary, Oakview Elementary, and Independence High School, all of them are less than capacity today. There are significant road improvements that are planned for Lewisburg Pike. One will be installed by Southbrook at the intersection of Goose Creek and Lewisburg Pike. Their estimated improvements will be $2.9 million and will be completed by 2022. There will be a traffic signal installed at Henpeck Lane and Lewisburg Pike with the construction of the new middle school, and it will be installed by Williamson County, and it is under design today. In the city's capital improvement plans, they do plan to install improvements to Lewisburg Pike from Mac Hatcher to Donaldson Creek starting this year, potentially with completed work at the end of 2023, according to the CIP list. In addition, Williamson County has done their own traffic shed analysis for the arterial roads in the county. And in this particular area, this property could support a density of 0.99 to 1.17 units per acre based upon the Williamson County traffic shed analysis. This proposed 45 homes would generate $1.6 million in contributions of fees toward City of Franklin and Williamson County infrastructure. Thank you, Mayor.
unmute now. I declare the public hearing closed. We'll now entertain a motion from the board. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Barnhill. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Alderman Berger. Open for discussion.
Mr. Mayor? Alderman Berger?
Go ahead, Alderman Berger.
I appreciate everybody writing in and taking the time to call in tonight and leave comments. I don't know for sure if I think we should annex this in at this time. There are a lot of unanswered questions, and we are not voting tonight to annex this property. We're voting to conduct a plan of services, is my understanding, and initiate the annexation process, which would later come back to our board for a vote. I noticed a lot of questions of, can I get your support not to develop not to allow development here until there is a development plan presented, not until infrastructure is in place, roads infrastructure until sidewalks, impact to the neighborhood, traffic light, lot sizes and lighting. And there's a lot of different things I heard here tonight by the people who took the time to write in or call in. And the plan of services will answer those questions for us. I definitely need those kinds of answers to move forward on an annexation or zoning or a plan. So tonight we're considering the plan of services to see what that brings back to us as a board, as a body of for the city, who would then vote after we have that information. So I just wanted to clear that up, make sure that we were all understanding, the people that called in and everything, exactly what is before us tonight. It is not the vote to annex, but it is to approve a plan of services. And sewer infrastructure, all those plans would come back to us in a plan of services that would give us valuable information. Then we'll show this board whether we're to move forward or not. So I would support the plan of services for that reason. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, you ready to vote?
Yeah, I would probably just echo those comments. I mean, a lot of the concerns seem to be around the PD or the planned unit development, some of the lot sizes, a lot of issues that will probably be addressed at a much later concern. So I agree with Alderman Berger that at least we need to know what the plan of services looks like.
Mayor.
Alderman Blanton.
I think this is one of the biggest challenges we face as aldermen and elected officials, is the idea for people to be able to realize the investment in their property. But much like Bev explained and Scott seconded, we do need to deal with real facts. I know I was told originally that this potential development was a lot more, I will say less dense, but somehow we create our own opportunities for people to annex and maybe even not be contiguous, but have the opportunity. So I will vote to see this through, just so we have to deal with real facts.
Anybody else?
Mayor.
Ready to vote?
Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Ms. Martin, go ahead.
I just want to say that I understand how these people feel in their neighborhoods about growth. Really, when you have lived in a neighborhood, I heard 1 to 25 years or 32 years or something, doesn't matter. You don't want growth around you. You'd rather have the cows, you'd rather have the green grass, but growth is coming, and you have chosen to live in one of the most progressive small towns that isn't anymore small. So we're all dealing with this problem. This is a growth issue. It comes from living in a popular place that everybody wants to live, and I certainly understand it. But we are going to look at this, and I will support the study for the plan of services.
Vice Mayor.
I'm concerned about initiating an annexation that is not contiguous with a pending request to modify Envision Franklin. It seems like we are getting a request to modify Envision Franklin almost every time we meet. And it seems to me like we need to articulate a criteria, a clear criteria, because if we're going to modify Envision Franklin, because otherwise it's all we've done is create something that the developers just look at as one more procedural hurdle. Step one, get Envision Franklin modified. And that can't be what we meant. It just can't. So I know what the difference between annexation and approving a project, approving a rezoning. I understand the difference, but in this case, even initiating annexation just troubles me for the reasons that I've stated.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll go to a roll call vote. Alderman Barnhill, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
I'll vote no.
Passes 7-1. Item number 5, this is a public hearing, consideration of resolution 2020-28, a resolution initiating the annexation by referendum process and draft plan of services for the annexation of 4478, 4482, 4484, 4501, 4511, 4540 Paytonsville Road, 4339 Long Lane, 4460 Pratt Lane, and 4431 Dyke Bennett Road. Joey?
Thank you. The city has received annexation requests for 9 properties in the Goose Creek Basin that are located outside the UGB. A map of properties is attached and is there on the screen. Annexation in this area cannot occur until referendum has been held, where a majority of the property owners requesting annexation vote to have their property annexed by the city. This resolution authorizes the request to the Williamson County Election Commission to hold a referendum on November 3rd, 2020, in conjunction with the state and federal general election. A full timeline of the annexation by referendum is attached or with your materials. A draft plan of services has been prepared by staff and attached with your materials. Because the properties to be annexed are located outside the UGB, staff recommends an initial zoning of estate residential until Envision Franklin can be updated to evaluate the most appropriate land uses for these properties. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Do we have anyone on the phone? This body?
We have any citizen comment on the phone for item number 5, resolution initiating the annexation by referendum and a draft plan of service for properties on Paytonsville Road, Long Lane, Pratt Lane, and Dyke Bennett Road.
Email communication.
No comments on that?
We'll close the public hearing. I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, motion to approve.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Barnhill. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? Ready to vote?
Mayor, I have a question.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
It's hard for me to tell from this map how much of these how much of these properties are currently contiguous to the city.
Joey, would you comment on that?
Sure. Unfortunately, I don't have the map from the last go round either, but I know of course, you can't really see my mouse, but those three little parcels in the center there, that was a whole from the last annexation. And then up to the north, that one little parcel, I think that was also left over. And then everything else is in addition to that, those parcels that were annexed last year.
So we're annexing, if we were to do this, we'd be annexing the holes, I guess the holdouts from the referendum last year.
Yes, and then continuing more to the south, the southern border.
Okay, so these are, in the case of properties, several of these properties are actually surrounded by the city now.
Yes.
And the others of these properties would extend the city limits, but within the UGB.
They would be outside the UGB, but they would extend the city limits.
They are outside the UGB?
Yes, everything being requested is outside of the UGB.
Including parts of the city that we already annexed?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead, Alderman Berger.
Yeah. Now, I get a little concerned about annexing outside the UGB, but one of the things we have here in this area is a growth area. In talking to engineering and staff, where there is availability to run sewer and run gravity sewer exists in this area. The reason I'm supporting this is because it does lend itself to gravity sewer in this area. A lot of these areas have become annexed in the area around it, and we have infrastructure. It's easily put in here right next to Interstate 65, and state has given, when they changed the annexation laws, of course, makes it, as we all know, that property owners then have to come and request that their properties be annexed. And then as we see here with multiple properties, there will be a referendum on the ballot for this. So I'm supporting this because it is a good growth area with a lot of potential because of the infrastructure, because of the sewer, the gravity sewer, and the adjacent area of I-65 as well.
Any other comments? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 6, consideration ordinance 2020-13, an ordinance to amend the budget of the city of Franklin for fiscal year 2019-20, establishing a public hearing date of June 9th, 2020. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
passes unanimously. Item number 7, ordinance 2020-14, an ordinance to the city of Franklin adopting a budget for the fiscal year 2020 to 2021, provided an effective date, establishing a public hearing date of June 9th, 2020.
Move for
Thank you,
approval.
Mr. Appropriate motion by Alderman Bransford,
Second.
second by Alderman Martin. I think Mr. Stuckey wanted to make some comments.
I will just briefly hit a few highlights of the budget. We'll provide a little more detail in conjunction with the public hearing in 2 weeks, but two or three things I would touch on. First of all, the overall budget as proposed, the all funds budget is $154.3 million. This is a reduction of $18.1 million compared to the budget you adopted originally for fiscal year 20. The general fund is similarly reduced from 78.2 million to 70.2 million. That's a 10.2% reduction. We all know that we are facing uncertain economic impact related to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are looking at this budget as this initial budget that you're adopting is that an initial phase of the budget. I would expect we revisit this budget in the fall when we have more information about the impact on our local revenues and the outlook going forward. But given what we have, this is our best judgment of what we can offer. And again, it's a balanced budget. There are no tax increases in this budget. And there is only one group of fee increases, 2 fee increases with water and sewer that had been planned as part of your 5-year rate plan. All other fees remain unchanged as well. And it is a budget that maintains service levels throughout the year and maintains the level of service that our citizens expect of us. Again, we will likely be revisiting this as the year moves on and we have a better sense of the impact of the economic slowdown. And we offer this now for first reading, and we'll present a little more to you at public hearing in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Are there any other comments? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson. Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Yes.
Move on to item number 8, consideration of an ordinance 2020-15, an ordinance of the city of Franklin, Tennessee, establishing the municipal property tax levy of our fiscal year 2020 to 2021, providing an effective date, establishing a public hearing date of June the 9th, 2020. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Berger. Was that correct?
Yes, correct.
Open for discussion. Did you want to make a comment on it, Mr. Stuckey?
Just quick comment. Again, this property tax rate remains unchanged. It is also one of the lowest property tax rates for a city in the state of Tennessee with a population of 25,000 or greater. Just thought I would add that. Again, we're maintaining the existing property tax rate.
Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson. Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Yes.
You've been recorded, duly recorded.
Get the vote twice.
Yes.
We hear you loud and clear, Vice Mayor. I think you have a malfunction in your studio.
That's
Item 9.
11-0.
I'm doing it absolutely intentionally.
Consideration orders 2020-12, an ordinance to amend Appendix A, Comprehensive Fees and Penalties, Chapter 18, Water and Sewers for updating water and sanitary sewer users rates 2021 and 2022, establishing a public hearing date of June the 9th, 2020. I would ask that your motion specify A, B, or C.
I move that we accept letter B.
Second.
Appropriate motion. Second to approve the motion with option B. And Alderman Berger seconded that. Alderman Martin made the motion. Ready for discussion. Was that Alderman Blanton waving her hand? Anybody want to make a comment? Alderman Martin.
The reason that I chose this is because I think that there are people who are living alone that don't use much water, and the people that have big families, they can kind of control what they use. What they want to use, and if they choose to fill the bathtub to the limit or take an hour shower, that's their business. But then there are those who really are very careful about their water usage, and I think they need to be compensated for it.
Any other comments?
Mayor,
Alderman Barnhill.
at the work session, I commented that I would support the A proposal, and I'm not sure how we're going to handle this. I'm going to vote against the motion as it is with B, just to see how, if it passes next month, I mean, there's relatively little difference in it, but I do prefer A over B. And so I will be voting against the motion as it is because it does B instead of A.
Anybody else? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
No.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
No, similar reasoning for Alderman Barnhill.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-2. Item 10, Resolution 2020-64, resolution for the City of Franklin Employee Pension Plan, providing a cost of living adjustment to the monthly benefit for retired recipients effective July 2020. Is there a motion?
I move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Berger, seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Is that who seconded? Yeah. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
I abstain.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 7 with 1 abstention. Item 11, Amendment 6 to TDOT Agreement 110291 for the Franklin ITS extension and the Adaptive Signal Control Technology projects for a time extension of 18 months.
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Berger. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. We'll now go to item 16. Consideration ordinance 2020-07, an ordinance to amend Title 18, Chapter 2 of the Franklin Municipal Code for the purpose of providing for winter pricing for sanitary sewer. Mr. Stuckey has asked that this be pulled, and Vice Mayor, I'm sorry, not Vice Mayor, but Alderman Barnhill has also requested to be pulled for the voting session. Mr. Stuckey requests that this be postponed till the June 9th Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. So is there a motion?
Motion to move this item to the June 9th meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, let me just do a quick explanation. We had a question about the revenue impact of the winter pricing model that you're considering, and we were not able to. We want to go back through and do some double checking on some numbers, and we just weren't able to complete that in time to update you. It was a recent question. We want to make sure we have it right, and I'd rather double check that number before we ask you to vote a final time. So we will easily be able to do that before our next meeting and share that with you if there's anything different than what we've shared with you previously.
Any other comments?
Remember, I would say
Alderman
that,
Speedy.
yeah, I would say that the one resident who has always been very involved in the water department and was a proponent of the winter pricing model, Mr. Bill Wade, did pass away last week, I believe, of pancreatic cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for mentioning that. Yes.
Oh my.
Who'd you say?
Mr. Bill Wade passed away, and rather suddenly. So we pray for his family, his wife Candace, and
Shame.
so we're ready to vote on this issue. Alderman Barnhill,
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
To be clear, the motion is to move.
Is
the
to
item.
defer till June.
Defer.
Okay, then yes.
Passes unanimously. We'll next go to a motion that we all look forward to tonight.
Aye.
Second.
I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
If I just click this
Motion
red
to
leave
adjourn.
button on the bottom, that works too, right?
I move.
Second it.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Martin, seconded by Alderman Berger. Let's vote. Alderman Barnhill,
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes. Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Left.
He dropped the mic. I think he dropped it.
Left.
Motion to adjourn passes 7 with Alderman McClendon and the Vice Mayor absent. We're adjourned.
Good night. Thank you.